My name is Marco Glorious Khare. I am a half black, half Indian man. My mother's black from the Caribbean, this island of called St. Kitts, and my father is from India, from Bombay, Mumbai. So I'm Maharashtrian, actually. And yeah, I'm a television producer. I'm a producer for the Wendy Williams Show, which is a very popular talk show. I hope some of you have caught it once or
I
twice.
love it.
Okay. And I also am an event host and partner for a very popular event planning and production company called DJ USA, as well as in-house productions. So some people may know me from either one of those occupations. And yes, I just did get in from a protest. I'm in New York, and the New York protest today started. I think it's probably was the biggest protest in New York thus far. It started at One Police Plaza, which is actually the headquarters of the NYPD in New York, and it's it's still going on. Actually, I left when it got up to Trump Towers, but we marched. That's about maybe about 6 miles, I would say. I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I wanted to be out there on the front lines. I live in New York City. I live uptown Manhattan, and I've been observing uh, peaceful protests these past few days. And this particular one, I had a feeling it was going to be even more powerful than the rest, which is why me and a few of my good friends decided to make our way down there today. One of my friends is also my lawyer, so and when I say it was such a beautiful and amazing experience to just be out there amongst so many people united for this cause. People had tears in their eyes. I was pleasantly surprised with how diverse. Like when we got there, I was amazed with the diversity. It's predominantly, I would say, people that aren't black in New York. And you saw how passionate people really were, just for this cause. And there was a point we got up to Union Square where essential workers, healthcare workers, came out from there's a particular hospitals that are located in that area, and just met the people in the streets, and we were thanking them, and we got down on our knees, in honor of them, and people were crying and just and showing love. It's been something. Today was a very beautiful experience. With everything that's going on, me being a half black, half Indian man, I know both sides of the coin when it comes to, obviously black people being passionate about this cause, and then, you know, people of uh, Indian descent who somewhat may feel like it doesn't pertain to them. Um, as I
Sorry, Marco, can I ask you, how can you make your voice heard? I mean, right now you're going to the protest, but what is actually, like the current status of Black Americans right now, communicating as if the audience was introduced to the concept of, of this particular matter?
right now, I think people more than ever have to make sure that they're registered to vote. You have to vote in every election, not just the presidential election anymore, because every every election counts. We see this now. I think we also have to communicate with each other. It's one thing to say that you have a coworker that is black, or you're friends with somebody that's black, but it was a little disheartening earlier in the week when I saw, I was very adamant about posting about this, just on my social media, because everyone has a platform right now. Your social media is your platform. You speaking is your platform. So you can use that to be as great or as small as you want to use it, but use it. And I was going to say, it was disheartening when I saw, a lot of people I'm friends with who viewed my stories regularly
Right.
and weren't, posting on their pages. So I know that they're on Instagram, I know that they're on social media, but they're watching me, and they're just, they're playing the background. And I know these individuals, aren't, racist, And I know, I feel that they stand with me, but this is a time where, in addition to doing stuff behind the scenes, you also taking that next step and just showing just that little bit, just using your voice to say that, yes, I stand with this particular movement. It goes it goes so far. It travels miles. Um, yeah, today was a beautiful experience, and now that they've enabled this curfew throughout major cities, they changed it from 11 p.m. In New York City last night to now 8 p.m. and people are still out there, and it's peaceful protesting. Um, I would also say, if you could try to familiarize yourselves with organizations that are for uh, this particular movement and any movement. This is, at the end of the day, what we've been seeing is just inhumane,
Yeah.
and period, point blank. And if you're on the side of humanity, which is, that's all it is, it's just humanity. In my opinion, the riots would have never happened. It would never have started if they arrested all four cops from the beginning. If
I
they
1,000% agree with you. Just
that's
arrest.
how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. The riots would probably cease right now if they arrested the next three. They arrested one. Like, it does. It's mind-boggling to me that the powers that be would rather see this country burn than arrest four people in totality.
Yeah.
So,
and they're arresting, they're tear gassing, they're doing everything else to the people who are vocalizing that this is wrong. But there are four humans that can go to jail, and we then go back to having a conversation. We are having a conversation, they're just not listening.
Correct. And can I say that today's protest was so peaceful, such a peaceful protest. But what I did see, I have no idea what happened. When things it looked like things started to go left, and that was probably around the time that I started to leave, which, it's exactly the time I started to leave. But I don't know what reason sparked this, but the police officers started to mobilize and started to advance on the crowds with their nightsticks drawn, and they were moving at a very rapid pace, and no one knew what happened. Like, why did this just happen all of a sudden? I believe that they must have gotten some sort of order to do so. But up until that point, it was so peaceful. People were speaking, people were singing. The president of the Black Lives of chapter of the Greater New York area, she spoke. Yeah, so today was a day that I wanted to make sure I was on the front lines, the very, very front line. And it was a beautiful experience. And I thank everybody that's on this Zoom, because you're taking the first few steps to garner some sort of change. I urge you to continue with what you're doing. Think about ways that you can donate to the cause, bail funds, continue to educate yourselves on the different organizations that are for humanity at the end of the day. Yeah, think of also using the resources that you have, that you can just just assist with things, from childcare to meals, think outside of the box, and I'm so happy that we're having these conversations now. So thank you for having me.